pissed off because they realized that it wasn't true. But most people didn't take the time. They didn't take the time to look. They had never taken the time to look. So, of course, when I'm trying to explain the situation, they don't care. They want to say they love me, that they care about me. They want to give me advice. Of course, everybody's advice is just meaning. I can't make both parties happy. So then I'm being victimized over political affiliation and being a Satanist and being a homosexual and a bunch of other fucking crazy shit. Well, I'm not a Satanist. I'm also not a homosexual. But you know what? I think that Satanists have the right to their own religion. And I think that homosexuals are human beings as well. Aren't we supposed to have freedom of religion here? Only on paper. Now you get to see the reasons that people used why I must be guilty. My age, my looks, my gender, my color. Well, hold on a second here. How is that exactly legal? It's not. I was denied my rights specifically because of these things, including my disabilities. And it's not even the disabilities that I have. I was never diagnosed as schizophrenic. Never diagnosed as schizophrenic. Never diagnosed as delusional either. That's the thing, is that the staff at the prisons, the staff at the hospitals, it was always after police officers that I was trying to turn in had lied to those staff, and those staff wrote it down. However, that also is a paper trail that shows the felonies that they committed. It's not just a felony for that cop to try to cover up his crimes that way, or hers. It's also a felony for the hospital staff to treat you that way without a diagnosis. It's against the law for them to write that down. It is against the law. Now, what incentive do any of these people have to tell the truth? That right there is why I needed someone there in person. I would not have had to do any of this desperate shit if I had help in person. Did my sister help me in person? No. No, she didn't, because she did not follow through. Why didn't she follow through? She was harassed by the cops, and she was harassed by one of these fucking nut jobs from Colorado. So we got these true crime things, and none of them are telling the truth. None of them are showing any of this evidence that I've been posting up for years. But then again, how many of these people on my Facebook are sharing that information? How many of them followed along? None. Literally none of them. They claim that they did. Some of them claim they've watched every one of my videos. And then later on, they want to throw a tantrum because they're in my videos. There's going to be a lot more predators' phone numbers going up. Mandy Hughes is one of my predators. Her phone number is going up. Mandy Singer is not going up. Her phone number is none of your fucking business. Mandy Singer, she done right by me, and she was fucking threatened, harassed, and intimidated into a fucked up situation as a result of it. Now, obviously not by police. In that particular case, it was fear of her landlord, and they did a lot of fucked up shit. There's the requirements that they had of her. How is she going to have time to help me when they have her jumping through those hoops? Now, Mandy Hughes, she's one of those gaslighters, and she needs to be taken to court. Also, I have Kara Johnson Miles' phone number, and, well, that's going to go up too. I've got a lot of phone numbers of predators that are going to go up. You guys need to be warned. You need to be aware that there are predators out there who will take advantage of the disabled. There are people like Kara Johnson Miles who will pretend to be autism advocates, but then they're not. They're not. But I try to tell you guys that this is going on, and you tell me I just need to let it go. No, I need help. You keep telling me I need help. I'm trying to get help, and I'm having to deal with people who are pretending to be autism advocates. What the fuck? So here in Hood River, on at least 8 separate occasions, Hood River Police Department and or Sheriff's Department has threatened, harassed, and or intimidated me, including lying about me to others, claiming that I am schizophrenic, claiming that I was doing drugs in the vehicle with that man. What drugs? When the cops told the hospitals I was on drugs, the hospitals wrote down drugs. When the cops said that I was bipolar, they wrote down bipolar. When the cops said that I was schizophrenic, the hospital wrote down schizophrenic. But where's the diagnosis? Where is the diagnosis? I want to see the piece of paper with a diagnosis on it. It doesn't exist. Now, I told you that they tried to claim that I was schizophrenic and tried to deny me the rights in court, and my public pretender, Robert Harvoy, wouldn't do shit. He made literally zero effort to defend me at all through any of that. Zero effort to even fucking contact with me unless I had to force him to send me fucking letters. All of the recordings with him, all of the calls with Robert Harvoy, they should have been fucking recorded. All of them. I am not okay with unmonitored public pretenders. If your public pretender is going to go out of their way to assist the prosecution, to assist in the psychological torture, while the guards are taking part in physical and sexual torture, and you're okay with it, the sexual assault against me was not fucking consensual. And even if I had consented to it, it still would have been illegal because I was a fucking inmate. And you want to pretend like this stuff doesn't happen, like it wouldn't or couldn't. All these people who claim to love me, and guess what? They didn't love me, because all it took for them to fucking change this into something, well, obviously less negative than it is, all they had to do was tell the truth. If they loved me, they would have told the truth. And you get to hear in all of the conversations I recorded with these people that by their own admission, they didn't tell the truth. By their own admission, they didn't come forward. And are their reasons for not coming forward the same as what the fucking cops wrote down on my paperwork? No. And then I got to go to these predators who want to be angry. I do say predators because if you're an alcoholic or you're a fucking meth addict and you are claiming that you are going to help somebody with something who is disabled, who can't do it for themselves, and you don't do those things, you are taking advantage of an at-risk adult. You are wasting their time. You are putting them at further risk. All of you have done this. All of you who pretended to be my friends. Because I don't have a real family, it's magically okay. Because I don't have real friends, it must be okay. It's not fucking okay. I am in a very unsafe situation here in Hood River. I've got recordings. I don't have the ability or the money to go anywhere to fucking do anything with it. I don't have the money to fucking survive for a goddamn month, let alone jump through these hoops, but I will continue to take this fucking abuse until I'm able to clear my name. Fucking Christ. Are there any real true crime places out there who will actually look at my evidence? I mean, I go to these sites to explain to them, hey, you guys are selling a narrative that's getting me fucking hurt, that makes it okay for anybody who wants to fucking harm me to do so. You are giving them ready-made excuses that are unfucking substantiated. Fucking show me where I threatened to kill Natalie Bollinger and her family in Virginia. Show it to me. Fucking show it to me. Show me on my arrest record where I was fucking arrested in Virginia. Fucking show it to me. To this day, not one goddamn shred of evidence to show what they were claiming is fucking true. And you keep on fucking victimizing me. You don't find out if it's true. You don't look at both sides. You call me up and pretend to care because it's entertaining to you. You're fucking with my head at that point. Don't fucking ask me. Don't send me a friend request. Don't pretend you give a shit about me. None of these true crime places give a shit any more than you do. I had people that are like, oh, wow, man, fucking you're famous. I can't believe you got back a hold of me. Dude, I will fucking get back a hold of anybody who fucking promises to help or even just claims that they will. When they don't, they're gone. When they don't, they're fucking gone. Don't bullshit me. These threats against my friends and family have been going on for fucking years. But no, my sister's not going to help me, just like everybody else, threatened, fucking harassed, and intimidated. What the fuck? True crime? Really? Helping the predators get away with this shit is true crime? Slandering a man's name without evidence, refusing to look at evidence, that's true crime? It is true crime. These people are spreading a narrative that they know already got several people killed. They keep pushing it. They keep pushing it. I need to be allowed to clear my fucking name to the American public. Do you not fucking get that? I get harmed by the fucking public. I get harmed by fucking cops. No matter what I do, you fucking treat me like I deserve this fucking abuse. That's the problem with being called mentally ill. Anybody can do anything they want to you at any point in time. These people are not held responsible for not doing their jobs, for irking their duties. They want to tell me they're good fucking people. No, you're not. If Megan Misegatis was a good fucking person, she'd be speaking out, helping me turn this shit in, instead of fucking backtracking and helping my goddamn predators. Natalie Bollinger is dead. She was shot in the head by a 9mm. Her boyfriend's 9mm Glock. It's 6 to 15 inches away from her left temple by Joseph Michael Lopez on December 29th of 2017. 2017 he did this. And to this day, you guys are still victimizing me over it. Autism is not the same as schizophrenia. Do you not get that? Do you not get that I can't turn in the officers who took part in that because they used the mentally ill thing? There are 509 diagnoses in the DSM-5. 509 of them. Not a single one of them is mentally ill. Yes, schizophrenia is in there. So is autism. But you know what? So is depression. So is PTSD. If a woman is raped until she has PTSD, does that make it okay to discredit her by calling her mentally ill? Magically, the rape is okay. It didn't happen because you called her mentally ill. No, she's got PTSD and she's showing and exhibiting signs of trauma. Even worse is when a male is going through that. You treat him like he must be a violent predator because he is exhibiting signs of trauma. He must be violent. He must be a predator because he has just gotten done being assaulted by people and he is trying his best to communicate with you, and he's got to go to cops who are grilling him like he's a fucking criminal. I can't bring Natalie Bollinger back to life. I can't bring Stephen McMillian back to life. I can't bring Christine Bouhit back to life. I can't do that. I don't have that ability. But what I do have the ability to do is to keep speaking up until something happens. You know how inappropriate it was for me to be sent to prison for trying to turn in Scott DaCosta? They didn't even convict me. They had to drop the charges and let me out. But they dragged that out as long as they could. As long as they could. And how did they get away with this? By calling me mentally ill and pretending I'm schizophrenic. Over and over and over. Pretending that mentally ill meant schizophrenic. Over and over and over. Let me say that one more time for those of you in the back. No, it's not necessary. You heard me the second time, didn't you? So here I am. I'm in Hood River. I get harassed and friggin' picked on. And, of course, it's by the police. All of the issues that I have had here, every single one of them is over police. It's because the general public, look at all those nice cars there. Look at all the nice cars. Look at the nice cars. That's what people want to see. Look how pretty all of these vehicles are. And sure, some of them are older, but then look at mine. Look at my vehicle. Does that one stand out like a sore fucking thumb? I live in that thing. I live in this. This is where I live because somebody shot my stalker in the head. Now, Natalie Marie Bollinger, that has become a cult fucking classic as far as the true crime networks go. There are over 100 true crime things just on YouTube on Natalie Bollinger. And not one of them shows any of the evidence that I've tried to show. Not one of them explains that mentally ill is not a diagnosis. Matter of fact, all of them try to play on that and prey on it because they want to get ratings. They want to get ratings by making me a victim. By spreading this slander for 6 fucking years. My little sister was just threatened by the cops 5 months ago. The actual threats are on this YouTube channel for all of you to see. You want to know why I'm in Hood River at the base of a volcano? It's not because I get to pretend that I have a secret volcano lair. That's just one of them pretty word band-aids I try to put on it to make it seem better. In reality, this is blacktop. It's hot as fuck. It's hot. And of course, I still have to deal with the mentally ill tag. I still have to deal with the fact that they're still making this stuff about Natalie Bollinger. And now they're wanting to make a Natalie Bollinger movie. So great, we're going to have Lifetime on there where they're literally going out of their way to pretend I'm some sort of a monster for defending myself against slander like mentally ill. Mentally ill 100% of the time is slander. It's not a diagnosis. When these therapists say, oh, well, Sean, you need to go to the cops about that. I have. Here's the thing, though. This is not their specialty. These are cops. You need to speak up. You can plainly see that an officer that I'm trying to turn in telling hospitals that I'm schizophrenic when very clearly the DSM-5 requires 6 months in order to do such a thing. 6 months. Also, the environment needs to be taken into account. Prison? Well, shit. That is definitely not one of those situations where you were even capable of diagnosing someone as schizophrenic. You are definitely capable of saying that they're not. What did Dr. Ted Hill say? Not schizophrenic. What did Dr. Sears say? Not schizophrenic. What did Dr. Arata say? Again, not schizophrenic. Now, why is it that I was in C2? That's the mental health area. That's where the most severely screwed up staff work. The ones who really, really, really want to have people they can victimize and get away with. In order to be in C2, you have to have diagnosis of mental illness. So after being in C2 for all that time and them basically being pissed off that I'm having issues with the guards and I keep on writing the guards up, and the doctors are like, well, you know, we know that this stuff happens. We're aware of it. We're also aware that you're not schizophrenic and you're not delusional. Dr. Arata was kind of riding the line on it. And I told him, hey, this is your profession. You know, if you're gonna be diagnosing me as delusional or not delusional, then of course, if there's a way for you to be able to tell the difference instead of having to assume based on what you're told, you should do it, right? Of course, he agreed with that. And I told him about the Wikipedia thing with Natalie Bollinger, and he looked it up, and, you know, he was actually right. There was no Wikipedia. There wasn't one. There was a Everypedia is what it was. And he told me that. He said, I can't find the Wikipedia one, but I can find this one says Everypedia. And he clicked on it, and he read it, and he went, well, turns out you're right. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm right. He also said that the situation with Dr. Hartman, Klaus Hartman, he said, well, you know, a lot of the stuff that happened in this office, you know, I don't think Klaus Hartman got access to that, especially, you know, when you're telling me that they literally woke you up, didn't let you wash your hair or comb your hair or nothing, walked you to the room and all that. You know, it makes sense. Klaus Hartman doesn't have access to all that. So, you know, he didn't get to see you folding up origami cranes on my desk or folding those into dragons on my desk. And by the way, I was shackled, you know, 5 points. Your wrists are shackled to your waist and your ankles are shackled to the floor. And of course, I was folding origami in there. And, you know, that's something where Dr. Arata, he wanted to look into autism a little bit more. He was intrigued by me. He was saying, you know, you seem pretty normal to me. He said that a couple of times. So, I mean, that's one of the things about masking. We're different, but we know that we'll be victimized if we're different. For me, I got the extreme end of that growing up in the system. I knew that, well, people who are autistic are easily manipulated and easily victimized because nobody believes them. So anytime anybody pretends to believe them, they want to believe that person has their best interest at heart. And we have to. We have to believe somebody. We can't defend ourselves. You won't allow it. And that is all over the term mentally ill, mentally ill, mentally ill. If you have PTSD, you are not mentally ill. You have PTSD. If you have PTSD from being raped, you are not mentally ill. And they should not try to discredit you with the term mentally ill. Your doctor, or in my case, LIMHP, that would be Marcia Estrada, needs to fucking speak up. Needs to step up to the fucking plate and do their job. What are we paying them for? All of these assholes are getting government subsidized cash for seeing us, but all they're doing is seeing us and riding the fucking clock for cash. Oh, these people are supposed to help you. Those people are supposed to help you. Well, they've already done shit to show me from moment one, literally doing things that they are taught not to do. Like when they want to send me to the folks for the Center for Living. I can't trust the people at the Center for Living. They're not social workers. They're not. They don't have social workers here. The people at the Center for Living, and you guys know this one. You guys know this if you've been watching my videos. One of the things you're not supposed to do when somebody is trying to tell you about their trauma, whether it's turning in the crimes that people have committed against them or letting you know the crisis that they are in as a result, You are not supposed to make it about you, and you are absolutely not supposed to say, it's not my fault, or I didn't do it to you. I'm aware it's not your fault. If I thought it was your fault, you wouldn't be the motherfucker I'm trying to turn it into. Is this fucking rocket science? But then when I'm trying to turn these people in, who do these places repeatedly tell me to turn it into? I have to go to my predators to turn in my predators. 6 years of proof of this, openly and blatantly doing these things. But I gotta hope that people like Dallas Richmond is sober enough and out of the house so I can work on stuff. I have to hope that Harley isn't coming over drunk as a skunk to throw a goddamn temper tantrum. Now, there are a few things that Harley threw that were soft enough that if they'd have hit me, I'd have laughed. But there's also things that bounced off the wall there at Dallas. And yeah, sure, she was aiming at him. Thank goodness she was too drunk to fucking hit the broadside of a barn. But some of those things bounced off the wall and were pretty close to me. Now, I don't want to have to post all that stuff. It would have been nicer if they'd have been honest to begin with. It would have been nice if these people who kept on telling me it's not their job. I've got hundreds of places recorded saying it's not their job. I need to get a hold of this other place. And you go back and you listen to one video where they tell me I got to call the Nebraska Attorney General's office. And you're like, did you call the Nebraska Attorney General's office? Well, yes, I did. See, that's one of the things about those recordings being on Facebook and being on YouTube, is that in many of those calls, you can hear me calling from Nebraska State Patrol Troop E, who tells me it's not their job. I got to call Troop C. Troop C tells me I got to call Troop F. Troop F says it's not their job. I got to call the Nebraska Attorney General's office. I called the Nebraska Attorney General's office. They say that it's not their job. They already had it turned over to the Nebraska State Patrol or some crap like that. I mean, this stuff just goes back and forth and back and forth. And my question is, if they really did those things, why isn't there a record of it? First of all, and why didn't anyone come to get that evidence from me prior to the assault by Scott DeCosta? Why were there zero efforts? The other thing is, with Woods and Sergeant Jones admitting, both of them, admitting that they didn't know anything about the situation with Scott DeCosta from 2018 all the way until present. Well, present at that point in time. Because they didn't try talking to me until after the assault. And that assault was in December of 2020. And of course, I first went to them in, what was it? June or July of 2018. You can hear the phone calls with the FBI going back even before that. Some of those phone calls to the FBI were all the way back in March or April. And I post them up. I try to get y'all to look at them, but I need help. You say to do it, I got to do it all by myself. But I'm denied that right because of the term mentally ill. Mentally ill, mentally ill. And none of you get that. You tell me I have to do it myself. I'm not allowed. I am denied access to the resources and fucking barred from turning these people in. Any fucking dirty trick that they can use, they have used. And it makes it so that predators get away. You know how that little girl, instead of just having a Lady Bic scratch on her wrist, you know why now at 22 years of age, she's got stuff sticking out all over her face. She's wearing long sleeve shirts in the middle of the summer. Well, here's what happened. When she did that Lady Bic thing and scratched the top skin on her wrists, she was screaming for help, screaming for attention because of abuse. And what did she get for that? She got the label of mentally ill. And now anybody can do anything they want whenever they want. And there's not a goddamn thing she can do about it. She had to make a decision between staying in an institution from when she was 13 to when she became an adult and never getting to see her friends. And when she gets out, they treat her like she's some fucking nut because she was locked up for years. She must be schizophrenic. She must be. Only schizophrenic people go to mental institutions. Didn't you know that? Nobody goes to mental institutions for depression or for PTSD. Nobody ever goes to a mental institution because they tried to tell a cop about the person who fucking raped them and the cops didn't give a shit. Oh, that would never happen. Oh no, nobody would ever get sent to a mental institution because they were forced to turn in Officer Schneider to Officer Schneider, or forced to turn in Amanda Jonas to Amanda Jonas, or forced to turn in Scott DaCosta to Scott DaCosta, or forced to turn in Investigator Woods to Investigator Woods. That's right, folks. Investigator Woods, he does actually exist. I was told that I needed to turn this stuff into the Nebraska State Patrol, and when I tried, Leslie Snell went out of her way to obstruct justice. Scott DaCosta went out of his way to yet again obstruct justice. And then you guys, oh, another Coloradan. Let me ask him a question. Hey, Colorado, you ever hear of Natalie Bollinger? I mean, I suppose it's considered soliciting. I'm not selling any goods, though. But of course, here's the reason I ask. And no, I'm not going to point it at his vehicle or tell you his name or let you know what kind it is. But yeah, when somebody from Colorado, when I see them, I want to know if they've heard of Natalie Bollinger, if they know about her murder, about the things that she's gone through, about the things that I've gone through. There's a few people who recognize me, and there's a few who don't. When I see somebody from Colorado, though, I ask every time. What did that person do? Rolled up their window and drove off. They probably heard of Natalie Bollinger. Now, how is it that all of my predators were able to get away with the crimes that they were trying to commit and did? How is it that Ken Wilson and Leah Plunkett were able to get away with the theft of my money? It's because none of these mandated reporters you're supposed to go to did anything. That right there is exactly why Natalie Bollinger got shot in the head. The cops didn't want to do anything. They didn't care. It didn't matter. None of my friends cared. It didn't matter. They all blew me off with the same fucking bullshit. Oh yeah, I care, Sean. I care, Sean. Then shut the fuck up and listen. Help me to put a stop to this. Instead of helping to perpetuate it by believing that if you ignore rape, it stops rapists. That if you ignore murder, it stops murderers. You know who's mentally fucking ill? All of you. All of you are mentally fucking ill for thinking that way. It is because of you that so many murderers get away. It is because of you that these crimes continue to happen. It is because of you that criminals know that they can victimize someone and call them mentally ill and get away with it. It is not okay that Teresa Massilia had charges against her because she fought off her rapist. That's not okay. It's not okay that Christine Kelly has charges against her for false reporting because she didn't fight off her rapist. Both of those happened in Boulder County, Colorado. Both of those. And what are both of those women pissed off about the most? Is it the rapist? No, it's how Boulder County Sheriff's Department and Boulder Police Department treated them and villainized them and victimized them for coming forward. What are the chances that those two rapists were CU athletes? They're pretty fucking good. They're pretty fucking good. But my family didn't care. You see how they treated me. Other than that, I had to go, of course, depend on alcoholics and fucking meth dealers. Do you really think that I wanted to take a long-term friend of mine like Brett Roloff and actually post a live video of him digging through his own feces for meth? That's the help that I got. I am autistic. I am an at-risk adult. That is not a safe environment for me. When he wants to be angry at me and say, hey man, you shouldn't be putting out my personal business like that. Dude, you offered to help me to turn this shit into the fucking cops and to the FBI. You're not going to turn shit into the FBI. You're digging through your own feces for meth, dude. How am I supposed to trust you? And meanwhile, he knows I'm not schizophrenic. He knows I'm telling the truth about these situations. But what good is he to me? He's fucking strung out on meth. That was in Bristol, Virginia. That was 2 years after Natalie was killed. Definitely a year after her killer was put in prison. I mean, Joseph Michael Lopez has been in prison for several years now for blowing Natalie's brains out. But I'm still being victimized. I'm still being treated like I'm a horrible monster because I wanted those people to stop abusing me. Yeah, I get that you don't stand up to drug dealers. You're not supposed to stand up to drug dealers. You're not supposed to stand up to cops who won't do anything. But you know what? I want you to look at the body count. I want you to look at how many people are dead because of wrongdoing by Boulder Police Department. Daniel Kitlitz, for example. All right, they knew he was dead. They knew that he was back there, not breathing and unresponsive at like 4 o'clock in the morning. When did I find him out there dead? 10 o'clock. This is hours and hours after they knew he was back there, not breathing and unresponsive. You guys got to hear Tony DeStassi. He and I are not friends anymore. Do you know why? Because I recorded the situation where he admitted to that. He was going to give Danny mouth to mouth. Danny was a friend of mine, folks. This isn't just some random fucking hobo. This isn't some goddamn crackhead that you hear about on TV. It's not some mentally ill guy walking into King Soopers and fucking blasting people. No, this guy was somebody who was good to everybody. Danny was good to everyone. I want you to look up his name. Daniel Kitlitz. Daniel Kitlitz. You guys want to pretend like I'm crazy. You want to pretend that everything that I say is nuts. You know why that is? It's because autism is a communication issue. Most of that communication issue is your assumptions, but it's also the fact that you guys keep on talking over us. When we have a state of crisis, it's an actual crisis. I mean, look at Natalie Bollinger. I tried to explain what a crisis that situation was before she got her fucking brains blown out. And then there's the fact that people want to claim that I'm slandering people. No, you can look at her autopsy report. Yes, she was on fucking heroin. You want to claim that slander? Oh yeah, and then there's multiple people who want to verify her fucking dad raping her and fucking selling her, not literally her, but renting out her body while she's fucked up on heroin to people that he owed money to. And you let that man go free. He has been caught with illegal firearms and methamphetamines on multiple occasions since Natalie's death, including a high-speed chase with her twin sister Alicia through multiple states when she wasn't even allowed to be outside of the state of Colorado, and neither was her father. And you guys won't look it up. You just want to assume I'm some crazy guy rambling about nothing. Although, Cardinals say John Elway. John Elway. Yeah! Ain't he famous for something? Good old number 7 horse tooth, right? Anyway, the point is that, you know, apparently people are dangerous, but they're only dangerous to the people who offered to help me. They're not actually dangerous to me. No, they never could be, huh? They're only dangerous to people who offered to help me. So then when I say that people offered to help me and I say these people's names and they can either verify it or not, they want to claim that I'm putting them and their lives and their families at risk. No. No. Mm-mm. You put my life and the lives of my loved ones at risk. You chose to gaslight me. You chose to treat it as entertainment. You chose to look the other way. You chose to manipulate the situation for your own fucking entertainment and your own gains. No, you don't get to pretend like you were gonna fucking help me. You never tried. If you did not speak up publicly, you did not try to contact the media, and you did not try to turn it into the cops, then I don't fucking believe you. If you claim you did those things, you need to claim them openly, and you need to show evidence. Oh, you have no evidence of this, but you expect me to just believe you? Meanwhile, you want to call me a liar? Well, it's a good thing I recorded you fucking lying to me, isn't it, you piece of shit? And playing the mentally ill tag. All of you do that. Oh, well, look what this person said about you, and look what that person said about you, and they're as pissed off as you are about the same thing. That's right, bitch. When they wanted to call me mentally ill and pretend that I was schizophrenic and fucking harm me over that, and you knew that the things that they were claiming I was schizophrenic were for saying were true. King of Nickels. Anna. That's right, not Anna Hunka. No, this is Anna Alford. Or Tony DeStassi. Candace Bondurant. We got Laura Nelson. We got so many people that are angry with me for recording them and posting the truth. Showing that I told the truth in their very own words. They can be as angry as they want. Those words are already up. They can be as angry as they want that they got busted lying, that they got busted playing. They can be as angry as they want. But guess what? If they get to be angry, so the fuck do I, bitches. You want to call me mentally ill? I get that. I do. But if I'm mentally ill, so are you. And far much more so.